And going live. He's gone live. Welcome, 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 my YouTube friends. Welcome to the second in a series of talks about Litha Summer Solstice for 2020, June 2020. I'm your host, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, and inspired. And very much looking forward to tonight, so much so that I had a run-in with a flat iron. And I emerged, I think, victorious, considering I think it's very hard to do flat iron your own hair. You know, the little like clampy thing like that. It's not my thing, but I needed to change it. So I changed it. So there you have it. Self-care comes in many different forms. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to do our standard format for tonight, as we've been doing for these talks since I started them at the beginning of the lockdown. Schmooze time, so that friends can get into the room and settle in. Most people know I'm here early anyway, so you know they jump in early with me. We chat a little bit until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right, EDT, where we make a wish, 11 make a wish, just a weird thing that we started, a weird thing, people have been doing it for decades, but it's like, oh, it's a cute thing for us to do together, so we do that, and then right from that wish, I go right into an opening prayer in some way, shape, or form relating to the content of tonight's chat, which then we chat about, and usually some kind of meditation. We're going to do that, or we're going to be focusing on a bit more sabbat-based material tonight. So if you're getting settled in the room, do say hi. Let me know that you're in the room. It's fine to lurk if you like. I'm okay with that. And certainly if you are watching this later rather than live, you might want to fast forward. Right? Like just slide over on the little bar thing a little bit. So that you can, when the room gets populated. Because really, I jump in the room 5 minutes before usually, so 10:55. And it's posted, advertised on Facebook for 11 p.m. Eastern. So there you have it. Don't worry, I have a whole other bottle of water. Ho'oponopono, blue solar water, ready to rock and roll, as well as you might have gathered. This is salt. I'm not going to do a shot of salt, I promise you. Oh, this is horrible. But if you might notice, I have fire, I have earth, I have air. This is a sage, and I have water. Meow meow doll face, you want this shirt? I designed this shirt through Cafe Press, through DrawingTheCircle many years ago. My God, at least almost 20 years ago, through Cafe Press, if they still exist. I designed this, you know, just on, you know, whatever paint software I had at the time. Definitely looking either 90s or turn of the millennium, 2000. Yeah. So it's simple enough to do, and I also have a coaster. I think I had a bunch of stuff made with them. So it even says, I don't know, I'd have to take it off, but it's got the DrawingTheCircle stuff info on the back. And I do love a muscle change. Of course I do. I'm from Long Island. I'm quarter Sicilian. Of course I love a cut-off t-shirt. These were pre-cut. I really love these. I've had them forever. Had them forever. Very, very comfy. Thank you. So what do you think about the do tonight? I've had the flat iron forever. Not the flat iron, a flattening iron, I think it's what it's called, you know, the hair thing, right? I just decided to have at it today. I needed a break. I needed a change. I needed something that I can do. I'll probably keep it. I'll probably just sleep on it and see how it looks tomorrow. Maybe record with it, brush it out, and give it another zap with the thing. You can tell already it's a little frayed at the ends from the day. Oh yeah, I did 3 videos today. I did the Aries, Taurus, Gemini for the what do I need reads. They're different. They're always different every single time I do it. I mean, every single reading is different, but I mean, every time there's a new series, the guides tweak it a little bit. This one's cool, a little bit different. Oh, good. Thank you so much. I love the amazeball. I take that as a high compliment. Meow meow doll face. Because if you have the taste to have the name Meow Meow Doll Face as a name, I trust you. You just do. It's inherent. It's in my DNA. What can I tell you? Anyway. So yeah, I got we've got these the new what do I need reads are very, very specifically what do you need to get through this rather tricky astrological alignment I sense we have coming up with this eclipse, right? It's like we're going to be going through dark moon at the same time as Litha, high sun, right? Full sun at the same time as dark moon. That's tricky. That's tricky. I'm on Long Island too, so there's that. Oh, yes. You know, I do really love my Long Island witches and angels. I do. You know, Long Island has been my territory for a very long time. Even when I moved away, they just brought me right back. Like anytime I ever like moved away from Long Island, it was just for training to bring me back here. For some reason, I'm like connected. The land and the king are one. Except I'm a prince, not a king. But hey, that's okay. I just keep getting drawn back here. It's like, okay, I guess this is where my destiny is. I had my astrocartography done. Now there's a workout for the lips right there. Astrocartography, Google that. It's where they take your chart and essentially they have the orbits transposed over on planet Earth, so you can see the lines, your planetary lines, and all my stuff goes right through Long Island, like literally. Queens, Nassau, Suffolk, just right through it. I'm like, yep, this is where my destiny is. Yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Divine plan, divine schman, I'm in. I'm a fairy. Are you? Aww. You know, I don't trust the Fae as far as I could throw them. And first there's catching them before you even get your hands on them to throw them, which is a whole other schemata. But, you know, touch iron. I'm prepared if necessary. I have Fae blood. That's why I don't. People are like, why don't you trust the Fae? I'm like, because they steal babies. Don't you know what a changeling is? It's like, do not trust them. They are creatures of glamour. They can look like anything. They could look like anything. They choose to be a shot glass of salt on my altar hutch, Starsky. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. You know how much I trust the Fae. I mean, it's like trusting family. I love them. I just by the Wiccan law, you must have perfect love and perfect trust. First of all, I'm not Wiccan anymore. Second of all, perfect love and perfect trust of the gods alone. Everybody else has bad days. At least the gods are gods, right? So I love them. I just don't trust them. It's like family. There, it's a perfect example. It's just that's perfect. You know what they're capable of. Yeah. That's freaking brilliant. It's brilliant. I know. Trust the Fae. Trust the Fae. Trust the Fae. They'll walk away with your kidneys by morn. Trust the Fae. Trust the Fae. Might as well trust a landslide to fall on you. Bargains, deals, no bargain, no deals. Nay king, nay queen, nay laird, nay lady. We are the wee free men, we shan't be fooled again. Thank you so much, Terry Pratchett. I hope you took some joy in that wherever you are, my beloved author. Terry Pratchett. Never got to meet him, but he is my favorite. Yeah, read We Free Men. Yeah, although it was Lords and Ladies, the book Lords and Ladies, that really started to tune me into the truth of the Fae. Oh, be careful. Well, it looks like we got people in the room, but it's just Meow Dollface and I. I mean, I know it's schmooze time, and we've got a few more minutes before we make our 11:11 p.m. wish, but get ready for Litha, everybody. Summer solstice, grand sabbat, the most powerful, at least intensive solar energy. It's at its peak. So we know when the moon rides at her peak, then ye heart's desire seek. But what do you do when the sun rides at his peak? Yeah, we're gonna discuss some of the coordinates tonight, because I think nature has got a plan. I think we've got an opportunity, a window of opportunity to align with it and put some intention in here, having to do with choice and decision and willpower and truth and mercy and judgment and all that stuff too. Hello, Lorraine. Boo. Hello, Boo. Yo, Boo. Hello, Boo. I do like this chat part in the beginning. It's fun. Oh, right. Just saying hello to the sage. All right, set it on fire. There it is. Giving a little prayer, a little blessing, a little charm, a little love. Very third chakra. If I haven't said it at least to you directly, because I know I've said it before, and maybe I haven't said it in a while, I love being a witch. People would say, why did you choose witchcraft? I'm like, first of all, you get to do stuff like that. It's purely from the innocence of my heart. How many pentacles does this man need in one shot? I've got one here. I've actually got one here. I've got one here. I've got one here. I've got one here. I've got one here. I love being a witch. Hey, Luann of the Colliner clan. Blong. I love you. My love to you and yours, Luann. Sisters, mothers, just all y'all, blessed be. All y'all, blessed be. We got about 4 minutes until our 11:11 wish. We're going to talk about Litha. Obviously, I've got paraphernalia out on the table, altar setup, kind of, sort of, air, fire, water, earth, because we're going to talk about confession, the rite of confession, but that it's a psychological thing, and no one religion certainly has can corner the market on that. It belongs to everybody. We do it all the time. We don't realize we're doing it. As well as counsel, which those two really, really go hand in hand. The grace of counsel, as well as the act, the sacred act of confession, whether you do it to another person or to a candle, right, or to the gods or to heaven. I love you guys so much. I just give you a big hug to you, Luann, and your entire clan, all your kids and whatnot. I just love you all so much. You're good people. Good people, good people. Excuse me while I blow on my sage. Oh, it's so lovely. I didn't put any resins on it. I usually powdered copal, you know, maybe a little, just a light little dusting of myrrh with the copal. Who brings myrrh to a baby shower? The Wisemans. The Wisemans. They bring bad gifts. Is that Susie Essman? I think I hope that's the right comic, Susie Essman. I think she does that whole round. It just kills me every single time. Judy Levy, Susie Essman. I can't remember. I suck at names. I apologize. I do. Oh, I love all of you too. All right, guys. 3 minutes to wish time. You're all being very sedate. Now, the moon is in Taurus. I guess that does make sense, I guess, overall. It looks like we're going to be doing our sabbat stuff Father's Day. I know Father's Day is going to be busy, but figure I don't know, maybe 9-ish Sunday night we'll do something in the Facebook group. Just light a candle, say a prayer for both new moon and Litha, but then we'll come here 11 p.m. and do the do, and we'll see how all that goes. I just feel like, yes, I will light a candle Saturday night here. And probably there as well, just to honor the Sabbath, but it's dark moon. I wouldn't dare do that kind of solar magic during a dark moon. That's tricky, even if it's Litha. You see what I'm saying? It's a weird, feel a little iffy about that. So we'll see. We still have a couple of days, but you'll know. If you're in the Facebook group, you'll know. I'll post something there. The Mark Angelo Lyons Mel for Short Facebook group, if you hadn't heard. Really, all the cool kids are doing it. It's actually true. All the cool kids are doing it. Well, the cool kids, my generation at least. Because we're tired. And we're funny. Generation X. How I do love my stunning Generation X. This is just for when I get tired of blowing. You know what I mean, don't you? When jaw starts to hurt a little. Good. Does the solar eclipse affect anything? Eclipses are very earthquakey. That I don't know exactly how purely scientific this is, but it sounds like it would be. That there seems to be a correlation between eclipse behavior and tectonic plate shift, hence earthquakes. So, you know, I don't know, depending on the angle or the timing or any of that stuff, they do seem to symmetrically build up a lot of pressure and then move things like very, very quickly. Earthquakes may take a very long time to build up, but when they finally move, short amount of time, everything changes. Slingshotty, kind of, sort of, maybe, time-wise. Rubber sheet of time, long story. But that has been my experience and my take of eclipses. So it would seem, because you even have, you know, seismic activity, just like the tides with full moons and new moons all the time. So, you know, we just don't notice them. They don't hit the Richter scale, as it were, I'm sure. But major ones like eclipses, where it's such a precise alignment, that might have something to do with it. Just saying, just saying, just saying. You know, 1111, make a wish. Here we go, make your wish. So mote it be. And so it is. It was a really good wish out of nowhere. I wasn't even prepared for that one. They changed it on me in the last minute. Yeah, I let them make my wishes through me because they know better than I do. That's surrender. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome, everybody. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to go right into our opening prayer because we got some stuff to cover, stuff that they've been working on me and through me today. Don't worry. You don't have to flat iron your hair. Apparently, that's just me. Take a nice deep breath. As I relax here with this altar pentacle in my hand, with fire and earth and air and water in their proper directions. Fire in the south, water in the west, earth in the north, air in the east. Spirit in the center. I am certainly prepared to pray. Take a moment. Get yourself physically comfortable in a position you can stay in for a minute or two. Close your eyes if you like. You don't have to, but certainly do breathe. Just like starting in the east, the sun rising in the east, breathe that element of air into this present moment you come. And as you just come into this moment, give yourself the intention, the element of fire, to just relax. Right? What do we want? We want to relax. Why do we want it? Because it's time to relax and breathe. And with that intention, notice how instantly the water shifts, the emotions, the feelings, just the not just the content, but the container. Just sort of get that little extra wiggle room, that little bit of relaxation. That breath, bringing in everything we need in every moment, even just for that moment. But in that moment, exhaling everything we don't need and releasing all else as a blessing. We notice that the body now is more relaxed, more content, at least with this moment, at least with this breath. So with this solid foundation of fire, of air, of water, and of earth, let us now speak to Spirit. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, we surrender this time spent together to you. May it serve your purposes, because we are here only to be truly helpful. We are here to represent you who sent us, so we don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because you who sent us are directing us. So we're content to go wherever you wish, knowing that we do not go there alone and that we will be healed as you teach us to heal. Please show us, even in this Litha talk tonight, what you would have us do, where you would have us go, what you would have us say, and to whom amongst each other, as well as to ourselves, that we may heal, that we may grow, that we may be greater receptacles of and channels of the grace of counsel, and that we may be more available for the sacred act, the sacrament of confession, in whatever way, shape, or form would heal us or assist in the healing of others on this planet for the well-being of all. We place all of this tonight in your hands, surrendering our will to the divine in perfect love and in perfect trust, because you're the divine. Thank you very much. knowing that your love for us is greater than we can even comprehend, understand, or handle right at this point. So in perfect love and in perfect trust, please, one last favor. That our collective pantheons of guides, masters, teachers, gods, goddesses, saints, angels, totems, healers, and ancestors gather around us all individually and collectively in a force field of light containing and protecting the work that we do together live or later this evening. I ask that all information and energy that exchanges between us, both in the physical and in the non-physical, verbal and telepathic, do so clearly, cleanly, and for the well-being of all. Guide our breath, guide our thought, guide our will, guide our feelings, guide our choices and our manifestations. For the well-being of all, may miracles manifest. Thank you. So motivate. So it is. Do like a good breathy prayer. Thank you, Mama B, for the 222. Thank you, for the 222. You'll have to forgive me for a moment. I've got a prayer buzz. They happen. Oh, prayer for free buzzes. Yeah, they're great. So, let's chat. Let's chat. So mote it be. My witches, my angels, let's talk a little bit about talking. Talking and breath obviously are connected, right? Throat chakra is how we choose really everything that comes out of our mouth, but not necessarily all that goes into our ears, as good as you can be with a channel changer, right? Sometimes there's just stuff you have to hear. Now, we could talk about stuff that we see, but that's really more third eye. Talking about what we hear and what we say, that's all up in here. Thank you, Mama B. So this throat chakra time that we are moving into, right? The Litha, summer solstice, 5th sabbat, connected to the 5th chakra of the throat chakra, all about willpower, choices, decisions. So when we're in this process of also from the heart chakra, as empathic, energy sensitive beings, clearing the energy fields of our own ancestral lineages, yikes, the energy fields of just people that live around us that we might not even know, not to mention our own personal baggage that might be in there, and perhaps as we're getting more and more expansive in our energy fields, every piece of life on planet Earth, it's helpful to be able to talk about stuff, right? As much as the emotional part of all this, grab some aquamarine, honey, you got it, right? As much as this is so emotional, what we're all going through on planet Earth right now, there's something about the throat chakra, what you gonna do about it? And what are you gonna say about it? Yeah, I know you've got feelings from here to eternity and back, but what you gonna do about it, Cecile? What you gonna do? What's gonna come out of your mouth? You're gonna let that pain possess you? Well, thankfully, this Sabbath offers us not just once a year, not just for a month and a half or a 3-month season, however you want to calculate that on the wheel of the year. It's an ongoing thing, that what we're going to talk about. But Litha in particular gives you an opportunity to look at your power of choice, because Litha is the full power of the sun. It is the full masculine energy at its zenith. What you going to do? What you going to say? What you going to do with all that power, right? What did you start at Yule, for example, right? 6 months ago. What's the seed that you planted? Is it now a raging inferno of will, or have things changed since then, right? It's time to learn to spit, swallow, or chew. We can maybe talk about that another time. Yeah. So the two things we're going to talk about tonight, one is the Grace of Counsel, and the other is the sacred rite or the act of confession. Now, confession certainly is more associated, in my experience, at least in terms of comparative religion. Insofar as a spiritual practice, confession really does seem to be more along the line of the Christian tradition, but certainly the Jewish tradition has, as we know, entire holidays based on it. So there's a lot. The idea of confession in and of itself isn't, however, just religio or spiritual, like, you know, people say spiritual religious. It is also psychotherapeutic, right? Counseling, right? That's why the grace of counsel and the grace of the grace of counsel and the sacrament of confession really do go hand in hand. But then comes something I kidded about before about perfect love and perfect trust. Yeah, we have trust issues, particularly if you're energy sensitive, particularly if you're an empath, particularly if what people say and what you feel coming from them like waves of fog do not match. You might have given your trust to the untrustworthy in terms of the things that you share and say about your experiences. Common. Absolutely common, a stage in the journey, part of the hero's journey, at least, of being an empath, of first wave or a divine feminine, particularly trusting the divine masculines, who in that moment you can feel that their goodness in their heart and their soul, but right? Like rabbits, they scare easily. I should know I have a good chunk of masculine energy in me. So this thing of creating a sacred context for yourself, not just for this weekend, although I do recommend it, considering we are going into dark moon. It's going to be dark moon in Gemini, no less. Dark moon in Gemini before a new moon in Cancer. That's how it would be anyway. It's got to follow the signs of the zodiac. But think of all of that dark confession. It sounds like a movie, Dark Confession. Right? An HBO series, Silk Stockings, Dark Confessions, right? So so these two together are powers that you have available to you that you may not realize that you have. For example, what is the difference between chatting with a friend, getting things off your chest, or the rite of confession? Well, I'll tell you one thing. The rite of confession for me as a Virgo has boundaries and rules about it. Part of why I am as intuitive as I am and can read people for filth the way I can intuitively, part of it is because it's such an altered state. I can't remember everything that happens while I'm there. That's hopeful. But the other big part is that is because I have taken vows of confidentiality with my gods. In other words, they show me things that I'm allowed to see in order to transmit, and whatever the person says to me in response, I'm not allowed to talk about it. I can change the names, I can change the stories, the genders, all that stuff, use it as teaching points as I do, but I'm literally, that's a blood vow that I made between me and my gods. So confidentiality is a big deal in terms of whether it's confession or it devolves into gossip, right? So the grace of counsel is not about problem solving. Oh, what? But then why would you go to counseling unless you, well, it's not necessarily counseling. Right now, I think what we're learning about the grace of counsel is the ability to listen. Black Lives Matter. Makes you uncomfortable? Listen to that discomfort within your energy field. What is that? Right? That's part of the act of confession, is even saying silently, with, in other words, no one else around you, light a candle, say a prayer. I confess this subject makes me uncomfortable. Right? Just as an example of one of so many things going on planet Earth right now. Right? You don't got to post it. I think that's what makes people post crazy stuff on social media, is they don't have a therapeutic, at least spiritual, if not psychological, outlet of confession that is safe, that is sane, that is love-based, that is confidential, that says, speak your unspeakables here to me, my beloved. You are safe here with me, which is why I've got the 4 elements out. Just going to show you a quickie way to create sacred space, even if you're just having confession with yourself, with your gods. Even if you can't speak it out loud, because there are people that you live with you wouldn't dare, right? To give yourself, talk about self-care, of loving yourself, giving yourself confessional time, to, in a way that literally takes the energy from your heart, off your chest, up through the throat chakra in a sacred context to the God, so that you see it, understand it, see the truth, dissolve the illusion. Yeah, it's a way to look at it, right? Between the worlds, as a reader, I sometimes see myself as a sin eater. Ooh, I kind of like that though. It's like so Japanese anime. You really should watch Soul Eater. Wow. Wow. Fairy Blue just played through my head. That's really cool. By the way, great name for a band. Sin Eater. Woo. No, I get what you mean. It's that you're like taking in like people's confessions. But sin is just so funny. That word, it comes from archery. It means missing the mark, like of the bullseye. You sin left, you sin right, you sin up, you sin down, right? And that's really all it means. It just means that you thought something that wasn't the truth. So many of our belief systems are based on the illusion of separation, like racism, like misogyny, like war, like crime, like, you know, like we're separate from each other is the foundational illusion of this world. We're not. We're all one thing. Duh, get over it. Everybody be kind. There. Every master that's ever been has pretty much just said that, right? And recycle. Be kind to trees, right? You know, be good, right? Be kind to each other. This is a process of learning how to be kind to yourself through confession, in terms of giving yourself that sacred space, calling upon the grace of counsel of the throat chakra to counteract, to heal, to balance the deadly sin of gluttony in the throat chakra. Gluttony. I know a lot of people like gluttony. You can tell a lot of people like gluttony because they keep choosing it, which is the point. Willpower, choices, decision. Just hit that same choice. I just remember hearing about this experiment when they were teaching us not to do drugs when we were kids in the 80s. It didn't really work. Didn't really work, at least not with the people I was hanging with, but nonetheless, they said that two squirrels given a button that they could like hit and would give them cocaine. I was like, those are going to be some pretty tweaked squirrels, right? And they did it until they had a heart attack, right? But that's an example of gluttony, even though the squirrel might not have had an idea that it's that was just about to Studio 54 its way out the door of this world. We know the consequences and still we do it. Like what we say to ourselves, right? Like the negative self-speak, the way we talk to ourselves when we don't get what we want. It's all based in such toxicity, and this is an opportunity for us to start unwinding some of that, not through a microscopic therapeutic process of self-examination and purging and scrubbing our throat chakras with bleach and chakra barbed wire. No. To be more loving, to bring into our choices, our very conduct, the heart-centered, powerful love that we have for ourselves and for everybody else. Litha put that as full power of the sun. That's why I'm saying that Sunday with that new moon is your day. That's your magical day. Sunday is the day you really want to put out an intention of healing, right? Sunday, Apollo, god of healing, of prophecy, of vision, of taking that full power of the sun that we will certainly honor the day before on Saturday, at least on the Drawing the Circles channel and Facebook. Mark Angelo, Lyons for short Facebook group, we will honor it. But I feel like that's the day we're going to align the God and the goddess in a way that just really blesses the world with not just our own personal intentions, but an intention to heal the world emotionally. New moon in Cancer. That's what I have in mind, at least. Yeah. So there's my spiel. We can certainly do a practice about those. I was going to do a little altar devotion for you. Nothing too heavy duty. Nothing overly ritualistic. It's not my style. Kind of never was. I like some rhyming couplets here and there. But for me, I don't need a damn word to cast circle, call quarters, devote an altar, or conjure sacred space. But this would be a conjuring of sacred space we're going to do. Does anyone have any questions? Said the purple-haired, flat-ironed. See, it's just hard to. I mean, it's got some movement to it, I suppose. Oh, I just can't wait to get to Bushwick so I can get my hair done. I'll get my hair did at Bushwick. Not Bushwick. Yeah, Bushwick. And if you're new to the channel, it's just water. It's always just water. But I did speak to Anthony about it, and I believe he has plans this Sunday for Father's Day, New Moon, and all of that. Otherwise, I was suggesting if he wanted to come over, I would make dinner, and then I could crack open that bottle of sake, and we can all get drunk together. But we'll see. I don't think it's going to happen, but I did ask him. I think he's got plans. All right. You're all incredibly subtle, and quiet. Have you all started meditating already? Well, Dee's not in the room, too. Oh, no, there she is. Dee is in the room. Time-released lunar spells, she says up there. Did I miss a piece of that conversation? Good evening, all. Time-released lunar spells. Oh, time-released lunar spells. Probably we were talking about the eclipses and stuff like that. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm giving you a few more seconds for this time delay to do its thing so that you can comment. Otherwise, I'm going to move in to our next phase, which, yes, we'll have a little bit of, I could say pyrotechnic. I'm going to light some sage. Good. Yes, I see you're here. All right, I'm going to move into our thing. Now, just to clarify, though this may look like sacred arcane artifacts, they're not really. It's an abalone shell with some sage in it that just elevate it so it's not sitting on my dining room table. I got a candle and a candlestick in the dining room with Mrs. White, because I love Mrs. White. A little shot glass of salt, probably sea salt, knowing me, and a bottle of water. Blue glass bottle of water. Oh, and of course, a little symbol of unified divinity. For me, it is the pentacle, fire, earth, air, and water, co-joined by a singular circle, interweaving all of the points of the star together, signifying their oneness as one thing, the E that equals MC squared. You with me? We good? Cool. The difference between gossip and confession is confidentiality and sacred space. How do you create sacred face? How do you make a sacred face? That's how you make a sacred face. How do you make sacred space? There have been books on it. There are rituals. There are ceremonies. Go back into your own genetic traditions, and I'm sure you will find preparations for this and that, this and that. But should you have no genetic heritage teaching you that through perhaps your cultural or religious structure through your family, then by all means, you can make your own. Make your own. Even the elements that I'm going to be using here symbolically are but external forms of the interior powers of mind, will, fire, choice, desire, emotion, and action, aligned with the soul, the spirit. Cool, cool? Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we'll talk about it in the Facebook group. Okay, good. Why are there so many mantras? Because they work and they're amazing. There you go. You want an answer? Because they're amazing and they work. Ta-da! I do mantra work. I've been doing mantra work since Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Because what's love got to do? Got to do with it. I knew mantras before what's love got to do with it. But it was nice to see one on the movie. I saw that in the movie theater when it first came out. I think with my first husband. Very possible. Cool, cool. Is one mantra yes, I Wabbit Night, I replied to your comment on that video. I did. I'm pretty sure I hit enter, it went through. Good. Okay, now we've got some chat going on here. Hold on. All right, we'll do that. With you and good, okay. Why? Oops, okay. Yeah. Songs are mantras set to music. Why, yes, they are. But the word mantra is Sanskrit. It does mean mind tool or to cover or to protect. I've studied this stuff kind of extensively. I do love a Sanskrit mantra, but the ones that he's referring to are from the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck, which are in English, which are fine. Oh, no, but no, he was referring to the Sanskrit mantras. You were referring to the money mantras from the Meditate with Mark series that I put up a couple of weeks ago from my Vimeo stuff. Yeah, right, sorry. It's been a busy day. You'd be surprised how many conversations a witch can have on a Tuesday. Well, I had a bunch of them today, so they're all crossing around in my mind. So I'm going to conjure a little sacred space here. These are just the elements that I'm working with. I have to remember to keep the pentacle facing that way for you, so that not only does it match that, it's just, I have to remember I'm looking down at an inverse pentacle. Now, I am not freaked out by the inverse pentacle, but it's a key to get into the underworld, which I have a speed pass for, so I don't really need it. So it's all good. Everyone, please take a nice deep breath. Because when you're friends with the divine family, really, when Hades and Persephone have both been your matron and patron for a turn of the wheel, it's not such a big deal. Please get yourself comfortable as I begin. We'll start with the element of air. O creature of air, I do cleanse and consecrate thee in the names of the mighty ones of the East. Isn't that stunning? Casting out all imperfection, all negativity from you in this world and in all worlds. Blessings be on you now. So mote it be. O creature of fire, I do cleanse and consecrate thee in the names of the mighty ones of the South, casting out from you all imperfections and impurities, releasing. May you be cleansed and consecrated by the mighty ones of the South, casting out all negativity from you in this world and in all worlds. Things be on you now, so mote it be. So mote it be. O creature of water, I do cleanse and consecrate thee in the names of the mighty ones of the West, casting out all negativity and impurity from you in this world and in all worlds. Blessings be upon you now. So mote it be. And creature of earth, I do cleanse and consecrate thee in the names of the mighty ones of the North, casting out all negativity and impurity from you in this world and in all worlds. Blessings be upon you now, so mote it be. And that's just the warm-up. Water and earth, air and fire combine to transform and inspire. Align us with divine desire. Our highest work we now require. Elements guide so that we may be on our paths and on them stay. We ask thee now, show us the way of what the gods desire. O Lady High, O Consort, illumine this space now with your light. So mote it be. So it is. Yay. Now that's sacred space. Just one way, a little poetic, I know. Written before Charmed was on the air, by the way, that little ditty. But still kind of sort of straight out of Charmed. A lot of rhyming couplets. I do like a rhyming couplet. I do. So, you know, you say to someone, I need to have a talk. Would you mind if we did this under confidentiality? Can we have a confidential talk? It's like, excuse me, I just need to get a few things. Sit him down, light it up, chant a little chant, say a little bit, that was cool, oh honey, sweetheart. That's like simple ritual stuff. Please, I've been teaching this stuff. Really, go watch my stuff on Vimeo. Go take my classes on Vimeo. All right, nothing I do that I have not taught well, except for some stuff. I do not teach the sex, magic, and tantra stuff publicly. That's on a student by student basis, really, and I don't take money for it because it's put together by the gods. Yeah, no, I don't really teach that for money. Never have, never will. Cool. So this is something that you would say. You'd say, look, would you mind if I lit a candle? Because at least then you know you are entering into a state of confession, whether it's with another person or with the divine, saying, I have set aside time and sacred space in order to speak my truth. Now, there's a wonderful book called Silence of the Heart. Thin book. Can't remember the name of the author. To save my life, I will try and find it, but there's a whole section in there about speaking your unspeakables. Speaking your unspeakables is probably one of the most therapeutic things you can do, which is why people go to therapy, right? Because in therapy, by law, they're not allowed to talk about it. That's sort of the idea, right? You're paying the money for confidentiality. But if you really don't have the wherewithal, and there are free mental health services and counseling services available online, etc. So I always encourage people to have info like that handy anyway for themselves or for somebody else, particularly for your local community, if you are the witch of your community or the angel of your community, so to speak. But sometimes there's no time for that, right? Something is coming up inside of you and it's 3 a.m., which is when it happens to me, which is why I'm really good at this. And even without the, I hate to say it, no offense meant, rigmarole of the objet and the rhyming and all of that, to really go to the gods and say, I need to talk. And it is that. There's very little ritual. There's very little posing that goes on when I talk to my gods in rites of confession. In fact, it's more about radical honesty. They can handle whatever I have to say, and they know before I say it anyway, because they can see the higher dimensional beings, the gods, the angels, whatever you want to call it. They see it already. They know already. But it's like when you know something's wrong with somebody, even if you know the details of it, but they don't tell you, it's like, you'll tell me when you're ready to tell me. That's what love does. It gives space for people to arrive at things at their own time. And of course, we have these confessions in the perfect divine timing. We think it's our choice, but it's really just the unfolding of the divine plan. So I suggest, if you're going to do it, have at it. But certainly, context is helpful so that you can know there is a before the confession, there is a during the confession, and then there is an after the confession. Nothing like a rite of passage or a spiritual process to move you through a segment of time, often from one place into another. That's sort of the point. So to then call upon the grace of counsel. We've talked a lot about confession, but the grace of counsel is best experienced directly, because we've called upon it so many times. Depending on your personality, when someone has asked you for help and you felt empathically their pain, their stress, their freak out, and out of your mouth came the words that afterwards you were like, where did that come from? It happens to me while I'm doing the readings here. By the way, I'm used to it by now, but that can be, for more of the muggle-oriented, a bit disorienting, right? That's an example of the grace of counsel. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, please grant me the grace of counsel that I may put into action the choices that are wise, loving, and powerful within my life, that I may speak with both mercy as well as judgment, not watching every word, but doing my best to love. What I say is loving, particularly that what I say to myself be counsel unto myself. And should another soul place their hope in my hands in an act of trust, that I come forth with your words, the loving words, the wise words, the powerful words, the healing words, the uplifting words that will speak to them, not just to the soul, but to the personality and to the ego that may well be suffering, with all that they need, supporting them with grace and helping them remember the truth of who they are, for the well-being of all. Thank you. So motive beyond that. There's a prayer for the grace of counsel. Look, I'm holding somebody something. No, I'm just gonna... Good. Good, good, good. We rocking and rolling. Told you I knew my stuff. I'm just a guy. Look, it's not I'm a YouTuber who knows stuff. I'm a witch who knows stuff who just happened to become a YouTuber by the twists and turns of fate and destiny. Here I am, apparently supposed to share this stuff. So, witch. There we go. So, the Grace of Counsel is one, obviously, that I am connected with. I am a spiritual counselor. My rules for spiritual counseling, however, you may not be aware, are rather stringent, and I suggest that you take these into consideration. Whether you become a spiritual counselor or not, or you find yourself engaging in the Grace of Counsel with people who are in need, you might want to write these down. What does that symbol really mean? This symbol? You want me to go into a discussion of the pentacle in the middle of this? Oh, honey. Probably the first public lecture I ever gave in high school was about the pentacle served Gawain and the Green Knight. Do you really want me to go dig up that research back here? Because it's back there. It's back there somewhere. You bet it is, Virgo. That's a situation best meant for another time. But let's just say for now, it's a symbol of the unity of fire, earth, air, water, and spirit, just for the purposes of our conversation here tonight. It's more than that. It's the 5 wounds of Christ. It's a symbol of Venus and how it goes through the sky. Read the angels and demons. There's a lot. There's a lot. There's the seal of Solomon. There's just a lot. There's a lot of symbolism going on. I also have one tattooed on my arm. So good, good, good. Okay. What was I just gonna do? What was that derailed me. What was I gonna do? Grace of Counsel. Gone. Okay. Gone. Sometimes people can derail me, and that's okay. It do happen. If anybody remembers what I was talking about before that, though, hey, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. We're talking about the Grace of Counsel. The boundaries. Yes, the boundaries. The 3 things that as a spiritual counselor, right? Number 1, this is the most important one. When I get a new spiritual counseling client, I always say to them, number 1, total confidentiality, as we have discussed already, right? It's like I say to them, you can tell anybody anything you want to say in this conversation. I am under vows of total confidentiality, though I may take the theme of the spiritual healing lessons, whatever going on, change the name, change the gender to use it as a teaching point. They agree to that, we're good to go. The second one, and this one is so important, unless you have a degree or training otherwise. I am a spiritual counselor. I say to people, I'm not a psychological counselor. I am not allowed by law to diagnose or treat mental illness or personality disorder or any of that psychological stuff, not just in general, in specific. Thank you very much. I was raised by a lawyer. And the third one is, and I think the one that they love to hear, the goal is to not have to keep coming back. It's to really get from a spiritual counseling session, not just what you need to get off your chest, but also what you need to take in and consider and then apply. I find what keeps bringing people back, not just to readings, but to spiritual counseling or spiritual practices in this way, is they may not be applying what they are learning. So that's why if you keep reading the same thing over and over and over again, it can be, it's just a timing thing. It's like, yep, this is going on for the next 6 months, knock yourself out. But sometimes it can be, are you applying what you are learning? So there is some control over the speed of our lives. But I think a lot of that really is, for example, with the choices that we make. How much are we embodying the compassion of the soul with people? Like when people want to corner us in an argument and don't want to hear about our spirituality or about how we're all one, they just want to tell us how wrong we are. Well, in that place, to really just listen. It's the other part of the Grace of Counsel. It's not just the talky part, it's the listen part. To love someone, at least the soul, like forget the personality. You might not know the personality. You might know, it might just be somebody on TV or somebody coming at you, right? And maybe it is somebody that you're dealing with on the regular, coming at you with just an appointment or a point of view or an anger or a political whatever. And to just be in that present moment and breathe and listen and give them the respect of just being heard. Understanding that when you take that space, I'm just here to hear them. Don't say that, but I'm just here to give them the courtesy of being heard, allowing your biochemistry to do, you're going to be in control, let that do what it's going to do without it possessing you. It is an incredibly healing thing to do, but you will be so high afterwards. You'll get so high off your own conduct with that one, where even though if you vehemently, vigorously disagree, just to give the person in that moment to breathe, that's the grace of counsel, to be present and to just hear with an open heart. And if you are, again, energetically empathic, energy sensitive, you will feel the pain that they are in, and it'll be much easier for you to bless and love them. It's just how it works. I've been a spiritual counselor for the majority of my life. Is that true? Well, if you consider the tarot stuff that people say, so that's not entirely true. But a good chunk of my professional life has been as a spiritual counselor, and I do think it is my ultimate healing art. The readings are just the means through which the spiritual counseling happens. Yeah. Good. So those are your 3 that I recommend, 3 boundaries. Number 1, total confidentiality, whether you're having it with someone or with the gods, that you establish that confidentiality. This is not about psychological evaluation or treatment in any way, shape, or form. This is about the right of confession. Otherwise, you book an appointment with a counselor, a therapist, a PSYD, a psychiatrist, as you are so led. And the third is to not have to keep coming back, that to really say what you need to say, get it off your chest. Like, I don't understand people who ever would go to counseling or therapy and then hold back. Let it out. That's what you're there for. Let it out. I understand things take time and it is a process, and people are afraid. But when it comes to your gods and your higher power, I hope you know they love you, no matter what you do. That's unconditional love. Yeah, and that's my role too, as a spiritual counselor. Just saying. Cool. So we're going to end with a little bit of a process then. I think everyone, please get yourself comfortable in a position you can stay in for a couple of minutes. Close your eyes and breathe. I think you'll like this part. We talked all that time to move us into this place, into this space, where we can relax and open our throats in terms of a nice, good yawn. Now, usually you only have to fake 1 yawn. Before the next one comes organically. Oh, that felt good. Breathe. And as you close your eyes, imagine, we've done this there's an entryway I learned from Marianne Williamson decades ago. Imagine in the center of your mind a tiny ball of golden light. That as you breathe and focus upon it, just imagine it. You don't have to, if you don't visualize, don't imagine, just pretend it's there. The soul is familiar with the terminology. But as you think upon this golden ball of light, warm and radiant, it expands. It's rays of light expanding, as well as the sphere, the ball itself, getting larger, filling up the entire inner vision of your mind, filling every corner, surrounding you with this warm golden light. As if it is lifting you up and carrying you deeper into its core. Layers and layers of light as you pass through them, as they pass through you, bringing you into the presence of someone spiritually fixed or otherwise that you consider a good being, dead or alive, doesn't matter. Maybe it's an angel, maybe it's a saint, maybe it's a god. Maybe it's a beloved one on the other side. Hey, maybe it's Jesus, maybe it's Buddha, maybe it's Abraham from the Bible as well as Hicks. I don't, you do what you got to do. But that takes you by the arm just to guide you further. Not even your confessor necessarily, although some of them are really good at it, but leading you before a table, an altar, if you will. I always see it just as a big table, wide and white. Just clear, clean, empty. That now you're going to fill up this table with confession. You don't even need to make the words for it. Just of your own free will and choice, write somebody's name on it. It's not like Source doesn't know the story behind it, but wants to see if you're willing. Just write their name, like even if you want to do like a big black Sharpie on that white. Wow, mine's marble. I know that'll buff out. Right? Situations you're worried about. This isn't just about confessing guilt. What are you really worried about? I mean, you could really go to town with this. What are the things that you have been hiding? That you have been afraid to say, afraid to look at? And you don't have to do them all at once, but even if just one of them, you just lay it on this altar. Knowing that this golden light is not going to hurt you. This golden light knew this was going to go down before you stepped into this body. Not just this moment of confession, but the thing that you're confessing. Because you're a soul that was chosen to play a role in a play that's already been scripted, in a quantum variation that does seem infinite. But nonetheless, your free will is just about how you want to play it for what's already scripted. And whether you will choose, throat chakra, fear or love, repression or expression, gluttony or counsel. And to say, yes, I do choose this too much. And I do know what my addictions are, some of them. But this is the throat chakra, sabbat, Litha. Then I am willing. I am willing to heal. And I know I don't know how to heal all this stuff. And I don't know even how to forgive really maybe any of it. But I'm willing. Please show me what you would have me do, where you'd have me go, what you would have me say, and to whom, that I may heal. That I may choose lovingly, powerfully, wisely, for my well-being and for the well-being of all, that I may bring through the grace that this world needs, not just the grace of counsel, but the grace of love, the grace of healing, the grace of who I came into this life to be, that everything that has happened since I've been born has been working hammer and tongs to get me to be, whether I like it or not. But I'm willing to be safe space by creating safe space for myself with my own confessions. That I believe I'm too this, or I believe I'm not enough that. The gods already know this. They just want to see what you're still holding on to and what you are willing to lay upon the altar and ask for healing. That even the sacred truth of the throat chakra is surrender your will to the divine. So this is certainly not a once and done, this visitation to this altar, but watch what we do now in case you never did this before. You can scribble a little bit more down on there, but when you're ready, just step back and breathe. As the light gets warmer and brighter, and lighter and more expansive and more rich and luxurious. Now taking this table and all that you have written upon it, even if anything you have laid upon it, absorbing it, unraveling it all, bringing it all back into unity for the betterment of our own journey, our own healing, alignment of our soul as our egos, our personalities are reformed, dissolved, unwound, relaxed, and healed. So now there is just us in the light and our spirit friend here, whoever they may be. And if you can, take them by the hand as you both bask and just say simply, thank you. And if you like, give that 3-word mantra that always works if you work it. I love you. Thank you. I love you both to the light, which is the truth of who we all are, to your spirit friend here, just for the company, and to that heart of yours that had the innocence and the courage to do this. Thank you. I love you. And breathe. And breathe. And breathe. Then as you are ready, let the image go. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. Take a minute and allow your eyelids to be the last things that move as you gently open them outwards into the room. Just give me a little something, something on the chat so I know you're here. Lovely. Oh, it's so lovely the way he does. He's got away with words. That homo angel boy. Oh, I hear he's the Archangel of Lyons. His family is from County Cork. It's true. My family is from County Cork, my dad's side. Thank you. You are welcome. Hey, Dawn. Hey, Dawn Story. What's your story, Dawn? Dawn Story. I hope you all liked that. This is just the second of what's going to be a bunch of these on Litha, building up to Litha, both on Litha Summer Solstice, both on Saturday, the 20th, the day of, as well as prepare the 21st, that new moon in Cancer, and Father's Day. We're going to do something here as well, because that's going to be our magic day. So plenty of time to think about it. But in the meantime, give yourself some time tonight before you go to sleep to just have a little confession, even if it's just a talk with your higher self, your higher power, your angels, your gods, whatever, and just tell them you love them and watch what happens. Cool? Because that's a confession too. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for anybody who super chatted. I really try and keep track of this stuff. I think Mama B, yes, thank you, Mama B, for the super chat tonight. If anybody wants to tip me, you can certainly find my information, PayPal and Venmo, in the description box below. Otherwise, tomorrow I'm back to the What Do We Need reads for this new moon in Cancer to full moon next in Capricorn. Cool. I love you all so much. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of the rest of the evening. And we'll see if I'm streaming in the morning. It depends on what time I wake up. But for now, hail. Farewell and blessed be. Bye.